Hello, and welcome back to Binging the Force, our weekly Star Wars watch party, uh, where we join in here and we watch Star Wars TV shows and discuss them and watch them MST3K style. I'm your host this week, Michael, and we'll be discussing Ahsoka Part 7, Dreams and Madness. And joining me here this week are Erin,
Hello.
coming to us for the second time, and then Kim.
Hi, nerds.
She's been around a while. Yeah, so last week, we got all the things, we kind of put all the pieces in place, and now this week we get to play with the pieces. So I didn't prepare any question or anything. Aaron, sometimes we do like if we have shorter episodes, if we're doing like an animated episode or something
Sure.
like that, where
Sure.
it's like 20, we'll do like a question or like a Star Wars question. Usually when it's not me as the host, usually when it's been someone else hosting who will like come up with a question to ask, to be an interesting Star Wars related question, who's your favorite character and that type of stuff. We're not going to do that this week. And I think the episode's about 40 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump on into Dreams and Madness if you guys are ready. Okay, got it previously on. So
Oh my gosh, there's so much to say about
I
how
know.
Star Warsy it is.
Dude, like
every
the
minute.
design on this episode was like, oh.
Yeah, so much to set up because, like, basically everything, all the elements from the entire season so far do come into play in this episode. I mean, we're in the penultimate episode.
Yeah, which is such a great word.
Yeah, we established Thrawn and Thrawn's calm, his scary calm.
Do we know if anyone has gone and deciphered all the runes and the writing that have been on the temple?
Oh, I'm
No.
sure they have. It is not me, but
No. I'm not a linguist, but
just listening to a podcast where they were saying that I think Shin and Balin have Arabish on their arm on something.
Oh.
And so they're trying, like, I don't know.
I did go through and someone translated all of the credits, all the planets and such. So it listed all the different planets, and I went through and I found them actually just after the first episode, and I'm like, what the hell is Peridia? We're gonna fairly find out what Peridia.
Right.
We very much know what Peridia is. So
yeah, we did. I mean, yeah, it basically is very Game of Thrones. I mean, that's
yeah, it was very Game of Thrones. So. But I've been in love with the credit scene since the very beginning.
Oh yeah,
I'm actually designing my closet door as an art piece, and it's using that kind of the circles, dots, etc. You know, I'm
trying to remember now. Has 3PO always been in that opening sequence?
No,
I don't think he has. I think
no, they change it all the time.
I believe that's the first appearance of 3PO in that opening sequence.
Yeah, I almost sharded.
So kind of a surprise here. I mean, other people were saying, like, I think someone had asked previously, like, are we going to come back to this storyline? Are we ever going to see?
I knew we would when we saw it, when they were previewing it.
No, I didn't think we would. I didn't think we'd come back here, but here we are, kind of, getting the next.
Well, we had to see Hera. I was hoping to see Zeb here though, as kind of character. What's the word? Witness.
Yeah.
Also,
this guy, I want to throw out the airlock right there. Oh my gosh, he's probably on the Imperial side.
Oh, this
probably is. He's
the kind of evil senator guy. Yeah, he definitely has someone else backing him, some mysterious motivation for why he doesn't trust the heroes of the Republic.
And I want to know why he shook his head no, and she understood. Carson was like, "Nuh-uh."
I think he probably was trying to get someone else to testify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he probably thought he was going to come in with the surprise witness that would save the day.
Yeah, and
we love him. We love Carson.
I love him so much.
I believe he is the hero of the Republic. He's the tie of everything together now at the moment.
He has been. He's been the thread between so many of the TV series now.
Yeah. No immediate threat to the Republic. It's like, well, if he shows up, yes.
Scoff.
Apparently, he doesn't know the word defense. He only knows action.
But it's a good illustration of kind of the politics. Thankfully, we're not getting an entire movie or 40 minutes, of just the politics of the Senate. But it's still a thing. It's still there.
Yeah.
And any chance to see Mon Mothma again? Yeah.
She's so lovely. Like the actress that they found is.
Yeah, I was like on the edge of my seat all the time.
Yeah.
And just was like, oh my gosh.
Like this whole scene is just so like quintessentially classic Star Wars style too. It just
Chopper's all F you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? We don't matter.
So what's 3PO going to come in with? And it is Anthony Daniels. Of course,
is it in the suit?
I don't know if he's in the suit. I mentioned this when I was watching it last night because I was watching it with Emily, and I was like, I hope it's not him at his age still getting in the suit.
Oh yeah, dude, that thing was rough on him.
Yeah, but it's definitely his voice, no question. Lovely, lovely man. I've met a few times. So any of us who have ever been to a Star Wars celebration have met him.
I mean, I've seen him from afar, but I've never been to his celebrations.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the very first Star Wars celebration, they had brought him in to basically be the volunteer cheerleader. He was there to like make sure that all the volunteers like were happy and had water. Literally, Anthony Daniels would come around to us, bringing us water and making sure that we were okay.
In his gold jacket.
Yes, that's right. In his gold lame jacket. Yep.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And then he hosted a lot of the panels, and he would do his C-3PO, and just oh my god, it was awesome.
Yeah, just a lovely, lovely man.
He's a mirror droid, though.
And so here, his big surprise was mentioning Leia and that she's the MacGuffin. She's the secret lie to get Hera out of trouble.
Glad they did that.
It wasn't a lie. It was just they left out when.
That she didn't approve the mission.
It's titled Dreams. So she dreamt it, and it's something like that.
Well, she approved the mission after the mission.
After the fact, it's like, oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
But I did love the way to shut the guy down was to mention that she is the head of the military forces. That's her role now in the New Republic. Yeah, is that she's in charge of the defense forces, which is who better to be put in charge of the defense forces.
She did eventually.
Yeah. So basically Hera's boss, it's like obviously she reports to the Senate, but from a military standpoint, she's basically the Secretary of Defense, so the highest, civilian military person.
Yeah.
So Mothma looks pretty worried when she's asking how big of a threat is Thrawn, or how do you think? And she's like,
hope for the best.
Hope for the
Rebellions
best.
are built on hope.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that's it for that story.
That was just like, that was such a great opening. I was like,
because I was surprised. I did not think they'd actually, that with 2 episodes left, we'd take the time to come back to that. But I guess if you're going to take the time to come back to that, make it worth it. And like bringing in 3PO, like makes it worth it.
Yeah.
And
Star Whales.
Space whales.
My favorite Doctor Who creature.
And yet another cameo coming up here.
Oh, I love that too. That's awesome.
Young Anakin.
Like videos.
Clone Wars Anakin. I guess they spent probably so much money on the CGI and building the outfit to look exactly like the Clone Wars. Let's get one more scene out of it.
Yeah, I don't think I think this was actually filmed though, and then just like deep faked, de-ageified.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And she made it sound like these were just recordings of their training, and
that he had given her. She says the number. She quotes. There's a number of these that he gave to her, and she's held on to them. This was the last of them.
Yeah. The first time we saw Anakin, I was a little taken aback by the CG on it.
Yeah, Jefferson on this show.
As what was it, episode 5, I think, progressed. Mm-hmm. I got more comfortable with it. I think it was just the bam, look, there's a young Anakin. Ha. And this one's nice because it's already fuzzy, so they didn't have to spend as much time refining it, if you will.
Yeah, but I just love getting to see the Anakin we never got to see. That Anakin between episodes 2 and 3 that we never got to see. That is the bulk of the Anakin in Clone Wars, the animated.
We got to see Whitey Skywalker, and then evil. I don't give a you know what.
Exactly. Yeah, right from whiny Skywalker to
have no Fs.
Yeah, to evil Skywalker. Yeah, so getting to see hero Anakin, we never really got to see hero Anakin live action until now. So okay, so we saw the beginning of their journey, and now we're seeing the end of their journey. But we know what's at the end of their journey. We know we already know it's set up as the cliffhanger at the end of last week. That what's at the end of their journey is getting attacked. You know, they're ready for them. They're expecting them.
They are indeed expecting, but Ahsoka is not expecting them to be expecting them.
Yeah.
I just love, his kind of thing. It's like, how do we even know that we're even in the right galaxy? How do we know if we're in the right galaxy? How do we know if it's going to be the right planet? How do we know that we're even arriving at the same place that Sabine was taken? Yeah.
Huyang and C-3PO for droids, they are really big downers, all the time, telling them what they can't do or what the odds are.
I don't know. I guess the way the droids get treated, you'd kind of have that kind of pessimistic attitude to the world at that point.
Well, and if you know the odds and you know they're not great,
never tell me the odds.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, they arrive, and of course, immediately they're getting shot at. We knew that was going to happen.
Oh my gosh, I felt so sorry for them.
I know.
They were all.
And then this kind of freaked me out.
Such a neat effect with them coming out of the hyperspace and how their tails.
It freaked me out. I mean, seeing Purgles arrive out of hyperspace, just like seeing living creatures arriving out of hyperspace is definitely jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how powerful these creatures must be to survive that, Yeah, and of course they're jamming them. Because that's a standard script thing. It's like, okay, it's too easy if they can just call for help,
Yeah.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. Yep. But this is the new, calm, cool Ahsoka the White.
Yes.
She just kind of takes everything
here. And I was just like,
I'm really glad they didn't just like blow through the baleen on those star whales.
Mm-hmm.
And he was nice enough to like open its mouth before they left.
Right.
Maybe he felt like maybe it was like pop rocks on the tongue or something when they were starting the ship up. He's like, oh, they want out. Okay, he'll open my mouth.
Or she told him where they wanted to go because he took him there, and so he knew that this is their stop. Yeah. But with all the bones and everything that they had, I really thought like they were gonna die. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They were coming back. They were coming back to die. I don't know. But I love this. The whales are like, we're out of here.
We're at this.
Peace out. So this part where they all vanish, I'm like, oh, well, there's the ride home. The Star Whales are definitely not sticking around for, the 2 days or whatever. They need to do their shit on Peridia, so
I don't know. I think she could hide away on the Star Destroyer.
Whee!
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they made it. I mean, yeah, it showed Ahsoka. I like that, she took over for the droid. It's like, the Force Wielder is the one who's going to be getting us through here, Yeah, obviously
he's too dense, but you're flying with a Jedi here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's an extremely capable pilot and 500 years of experience and a droid and everything. But in this kind of situation, avoiding laser fire and going through, obstacles and stuff like that,
moving obstacles,
you can't beat a Jedi at that point.
Yeah,
that helmet and mask is a little crazy. I wish I could see some of these costumes a little better.
Always thinking of it as
all the time.
Yep.
So like that, like the circles and the dots.
Yep. Yeah, that's what my closet door is inspired by, and it's actually got the hands from the rebels and such. So that I'm actually going to make them. I have to bore the holes in my door now, but so you can actually rotate the hand to the different directions, if you will.
Now I'm trying. Name just left my brain of the show I was going to mention. Netflix politics show with Kevin Spacey.
House of Cards.
House of Cards. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever watched that, but this was the first. This episode was the first time that Lars Mikkelsen, as Thrawn, I started seeing his character that he played on House of Cards, because he basically played Putin. He was their fictional version of Putin in House of Cards, and it was a very similar character in terms of that. They got nothing phased him. He's the guy who has every angle figured out. He's kind of verbally sparring with the American president and has the edge over him. He knows everything. He's so much smarter than anyone else in the room. It's a very similar character to how he's playing Thrawn here, and it just really so much reminded me of his character on that show. It's something Lars Mikkelsen does really, really well. Just
absolutely.
Like, I'm cool, calm, and collected, and I'm 17 steps ahead of you. And that's Thrawn. I mean, that's the thing. It's a character that he nails, and that is Thrawn.
I was so glad to hear that he was coming back.
Yeah,
as the voice to play him in person.
And I've only seen I think 1 or 2 of the episodes that he played him in Rebels, so I
sure.
Familiar, for me, Thrawn. I'm still going back to the Zahn novels for my most of my knowledge on Thrawn. So
his voice was always so low in the cartoon that I'd have to have the volume up so loud, and then the shooting would happen, and I'm like, turn it back down.
Yep. So very calm and collected. That's kind of his entire thing. So his shtick.
And here's a very standard Star Wars-y kind of moment: is let's hide in space. Let's
flying through the debris to lose the bad guy, and I mean, so Star Wars-y. I love it.
But then even Thrawn noted it. Thrawn, Jedi are very good at hiding.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bird. Everyone's saying on the internet. Mm-hmm. Thrawn, bird the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Nice swipe.
Yes, we are doing the Star Wars kind of, Star Wars really brought those back, those kind of wipes. I mean, you learn them in film school, but it's it's really very much old school. And until Lucas did it again in Star Wars, they were very much out of favor for a long time.
I love these little roly-poly carts.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because when we first saw those structures, we didn't know that they were movable. We just assumed that they were kind of like huts. And the fact that the Noti, actually, have technology. We didn't know that they had technology, because I was calling them basically, turtle.
Zeb's trading reserve.
Yeah.
He's just like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, catching her up on everything. But the fact that the Noti, these, they're not Ewoks. I mean, that's the whole thing with the Ewoks, was that they were supposed to be a non-technological culture, but they were cute. So here we get cute, but they also have technology. So I like them having these that these are their homes, but their homes are movable structures. I mean, it's very turtle.
Yeah, and it still feels very Dark Crystal to me as well. Just the whole aesthetic of the Noti. So
totally. Yeah, catching up. 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Ahsoka took me on as an apprentice.
What?
Why?
The Emperor died. What? Yeah, I'm a Padawan.
And again, not the foremost Rebel watcher. I've watched a dozen or so episodes, kind of here and there, probably a little bit more than that, but definitely not the Rebels expert. I mean, did he always have blue eyes?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah. And that scar on his face after the second season.
The scar on his face was from the Inquisitors,
right?
So, but it's really, really hard to see. But oh god, focus. No focus. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but they're just glowing orbs.
He's got the bright blue eyes there too.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember that from the mural from the beginning of from the initial live action episodes. And that's like I said, I've watched a lot of Rebels, but not the whole thing. Sure. And it's I always have to be
flying nut hat. Here's Claudia coming again. She's the middle one.
Oh, right, of the sisters, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still don't get. I would still love an explanation as to why the sisters are allied with him. Like, what is he giving them? What is he offering them?
What are they loading onto the ship?
Well,
I
that too. That's
I
obviously the big
think
mystery.
they are I think they're coffins. I think this whole citadel is actually a crypt.
So you think they're the Night Sister?
I think they are
Corpses?
the bodies of Night Sisters because I don't know if you guys have seen the episode of Rebels where they actually go and are visiting. Oh God, I don't remember what planet it is. I don't think it's Dathomir, but the Sabine actually gets possessed by one of the Night Sisters, but they're all very ethereal and that type of stuff. And so my theory is that they are going to be building basically an undead army of Night Sisters, but not necessarily an army, an undead society of Night Sisters.
Well, and there's been suggestions, rumors online that the troopers are the
Are
night
undead,
troopers
absolutely.
are undead. Yeah, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
would they be like Merrick or Mark or whatever that dude was?
They very well might be.
Right. It could, well, the way
well,
that
they can't be. I mean, they didn't turn into that freaking dust.
well, not yet.
Not yet. So
Well, when they died.
Yeah.
This is a rewatch.
That's true because we do have a whole story. We do have a whole night trooper battle here in this episode. So
yes.
So there is that they're not exactly the same thing as Merrick necessarily.
No, they are not. Probably they're, and
but
not
still,
all of them.
But the rumor or the speculation is that what they're loading is basically thousands and thousands of dead troops who could be brought back to life, as a new undead army.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually because this is a home of the Night Sisters, and since they may have been at some point unable to travel via Purgle, and so they had their own society here, and they just kind of kept the bodies preserved. But we will see.
And so essentially, what he's offering them is a ride.
Yes.
That's what he can offer them, because it's just the way that they just really seem to be offering fealty to him. I mean, just kind of saying, yes, Grand Admiral,
my lord, and yeah,
whatever you want, Grand Admiral. I'm like, why? Because we know his history is he does not respect magic. He does not respect force wielders. He has a kind of low opinion of it. But here, obviously, it's making strange bedfellows here. Between him and them, it's like they both need each other, both sides. Mm-hmm. He needs their magic. They need his ship.
They found us.
And actually, I guess what they needed was what got created there in space was the way to get back. So, big space battle.
Yeah, flying through all these clouds and stuff, and I'm like, Ahsoka is looking out the windows, but she should really just be flying with the Force, like Luke was. Because you can't see.
Well, I figure she probably is doing both. I mean, she's
yeah.
Morgan is just looking at him like, "Are you an idiot?
Right?
What? Are you sure?"
She does not share his foresight.
Right. Mm-hmm. The way we trust the Filoni, she doesn't. She needs to trust the Thrawn. Yeah.
She does not trust the Thrawn at all.
Which is interesting because she just traveled, between galaxies to get him. It's like, you'd think she'd be a full believer, but even then she questions him. Yeah.
So this part here is Lord of the Rings again.
Yeah, definitely.
They're on the wargs. They're looking down at the riders.
Yeah, but it's Western too. They're circling the wagons and they're protecting themselves. I mean, that's a.
And take your place in the coming empire. Balin's motivations is still the biggest question.
They're so strange. I haven't figured them out yet.
Your ambition drives you in one direction.
And the fact that he
chooses
to not get in the battle here. He purposely sends her into the battle to take care of them. He hangs back, which is something that Thrawn notes. That Thrawn we basically lost Balin. That he's not one of the resources that we're counting on here. People's motivations are really the biggest questions here. And I don't know, well, actually we'll discuss it at the end in terms of, whose dreams and whose madness are we talking about here?
Right.
I do think we're talking about his dreams, but we don't know what
Or
his dream
madness
is.
or what?
Yes, the answer is yes.
The flying nun helmet cracks me up.
Well, definitely they're older Japanese inspired outfits.
Mhm.
They're definitely
Yeah, but there's only one, so it has to be the leader.
sure, but definitely those that armor there is feudal Japan, as there's a lot of it here. Definitely a lot of this series, Ahsoka, a lot of the aesthetic is feudal.
The way that Enoch here is represented there with the wispies and stuff very much reminds me of Night Sister Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and of Merrick,
Mhm.
that character who we never knew what that was,
Mhm. So what do you think the likelihood is that Enoch's a Merrick?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely similarities going on. So yeah,
Oh, I saw a meme where underneath the helmet it was Babu Frick.
That would be hilarious.
I mean, I'm gonna bet right now on Enoch being the same thing with Merrick. That people spent weeks speculating on it being this important, relevant character and everything, and then just got taken out very quickly. I think Enoch's going to be the same thing. I think we want to ascribe significance to things that are not significant.
Well, I like the actor. He's from Expanse.
Yeah, so the Nodi, they don't have weapons. It's like peaceful fun.
They have rocks.
And she mentions defenseless. I'm like, but these little pod things are so much defense.
Yeah, totally.
Like, they are the only way it gets taken down is by like a stab underneath, it seems.
Basically, I love that that essentially they took their biology and turned it into their technology.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, their ships and their ships are their structures. Their homes and their ships are the same thing, and it's all based on them being shelled creatures. So they took that natural.
Yeah, like he's having a heck of a time trying to stop this little
throwing rocks.
Yep. Throwing everything, literally grabbing anything that they can throw.
Chopper in that one episode where he's just chucking out things.
Right.
Yeah, but I just love that idea that they took their natural biology and extended it to their technology.
That's awesome.
Biomimicry, indeed. So, that was the only pod that got taken down, and it took them,
a lot.
Half dozen attempts to stop the pod. Yeah, they're not defenseless. They're just offenseless.
Right.
Or offense light.
And without question, I mean, immediately Ezra's like, we're not leaving them,
So
that's not an option. We're making a stand here.
Talking in the parking lot, we can call a whoopa whoopa.
Yeah, the kind of everything close up. Yeah, just just immediately close up everything. Then no one's ever going to get in. I mean, this is how we survive.
Yep. Look, I found them. They're very good camouflage from above.
And Balin's just sitting there watching.
Oh yeah, he sees her coming, and he's like, "Oh, okay.
Who's that? Who dat?
Who's that?" But lacks your sense of humor.
Yeah, she's like you. Lightsaber? Yeah, okay.
Oh, great.
So we're seeing their faces, right?
Some of them.
These twos?
Other guys, the who?
Yeah, the kind of mercenary type.
The one with the red helmets. They had animal-like faces.
Yeah, he's obviously spent a lot of time with them. He knows their language. He knows their ways. I do love this conversation coming up about her trying to give him, his own lightsaber back.
Yeah.
Standard General Mission Protocol states, never tell me the protocol.
Right.
Not this again. Just remember what happened last time. So that was your fault.
Don't screw it up.
I'm gonna cross franchises and refer to Kirk and Saavik saying, don't quote regulations to me.
So this is a crazy move.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a very Ahsoka move though.
It is. It is. Whoosh.
Bounce.
Yep. Yeah, the bounce there.
Ahsoka the White.
Ahsoka the very light gray.
Traveled across from one galaxy to another for a rematch.
Just to finish this fight here.
Although, I mean, she's right straight up and like, I don't have time for this, This is not the primary mission right now. Yeah, we still don't know what his motivation is. He's not going to let her interfere, but he wouldn't join the battle either. I mean, his motivation seemed to be let Shin,
let Shin rise.
Yeah,
so he's like training his direct replacement so he can step away and do whatever Baylan is doing.
Yeah, whatever it is, his ultimate objective is, which we still don't know. But yeah, I mean, you would think that these folks have like encountered, I mean,
do the thing.
Take your lightsaber. It's yours. You've been training.
Very funny.
Well, now it's officially
the Force is my ally.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
I'm like, he's had 9, however many years to meditate and train with the Force. Become one with the Force. The Force is with him.
Well, and he had more direct Jedi training than she did.
He did. Absolutely.
And he's a Force wielder, which she is not. Yeah, it really seems like it would still make more sense to me. She's got the 2 blasters. She's got all the rest of her Mandalorian stuff. It's like, it really would make sense to give him back the lightsaber at that point.
It really would. Though I've noticed throughout this series, Sabine is a lot less explosion happy than she was in Rebels.
Yeah.
Well,
like whenever she got the chance, she was like, "Can we blow it up?"
Right. But she has
that was like her first tactic was blow it up.
Yeah, but this is a more mature Sabine as well.
It is.
Oh, this is great. Got his hair.
Yeah. That's the thing I don't think we've ever seen before is lightsaber.
No, he needs a haircut, so
I know. I kind of like the curly mop.
Because generally, anytime a Jedi's, or a Force wielder is coming up on a Jedi, the Jedi is going to block it with a lightsaber. He doesn't have that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's just swinging it like a baseball bat.
She's aggressive.
Yes.
she has force, but less finesse.
Be aggressive.
Yeah. I was a little surprised at that point. I'm like, really, Ezra? Really?
Yeah.
You went that route?
Yeah. This is a really good lightsaber fight.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, multiple good lightsaber fights here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely getting the action. We've had space battles, we've had space chases, we've got multiple lightsaber battles.
Space whales.
Space whales. Can't get enough of space whales.
Destruction!
Yeah, attack from the air to the ground.
Smoke bomb. Poof.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for lack of better terms of what Baylan
I love this. She just took his mount. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, and that was obviously the objective, was for him to shoot at him from the sky, distract him so she can get away. Because this is not her mission.
No.
Her mission is to get Sabine and Ezra, and let's.
And now, what is he thinking? Oh crap! Or
he's almost like
darn,
like
or
resigned. Like, I have to laugh to stop.
I have to walk now.
But he literally walks away from the battle at that point, and like I said, Thrawn notes it later. I mean, like, we still don't know what his objectives are. From Thrawn's perspective, it's like Baylan just left. He just skipped out.
Baylan bailed.
Yeah, he bailed.
Baylan bailed indeed. Baylan.
Night troopers, which that's the thing. I mean, they're troopers, but they're in bands of red, which is very Night Sister, which is of Dathomir. So, what are they? Then they're called Night Troopers.
Yeah. When we first saw the Night Troopers, Tim and I were like, I wouldn't expect Thrawn to form a cult. It's not really kind of his personality, is this whole mighty cult thing, but he is working with the Night Sisters.
I was going to say it is very much what they would do. So
yeah,
That's why that whole speculation that the Night Troopers are some combination of, Empire and Dathomir. Yeah.
And how many of those Night Troopers are alive but native Peridians too?
Right. Yep. Which the only native Peridians we've seen so far are the Nodi and those other mercenaries who also speak Nodi. So we could talk. Very, very Jedi. I mean, that's the thing. He's very, very Jedi at that point. We could negotiate. We could talk.
Prisoners.
We don't have to fight. You take us as prisoners.
And reunion.
Yep.
She just, again, like, they don't even have lightsabers and beating her butt.
Yeah, but just having that many, I mean, that's having 5. We've got 5. Well, okay, if we count Sabine as in Jedi in training, but not quite a Force wielder, we've got 5 of them in the field of battle here at this point, if you count Baylan. So, which is really cool.
Do we count Baylan?
I mean, this seems like this is probably the most Jedi / Force wielders. I'm going to keep using that term for lack of better terminology for the orange lightsaber people.
Yeah, explosions.
Yeah. But it's probably the most we've had since Order 66. In live action,
like the Jedi of old.
When have we seen 5 people with lightsabers or Jedi training in a live action battle scene since Order 66?
Right.
Well, the arena battle.
That's pre Order 66. Oh. Yeah, that's episode 2. That's pre Clone Wars.
She is so confused.
Yeah. Yeah, all I see is that you brought together all the people who want to stop us. And it's Thrawn,
But I have a plan. See, look at all those beautiful coffins. They're coffins. Right. Are they not coffins?
Yeah. Well, they're storage pods. They're Star Warsy things. But
I mean, there is that.
But yeah, his thing is he's not caring that all of our enemies have just gathered. Our objective isn't. We don't care about that.
We don't care. Yep, they're plenty distracted. Let them keep distracting themselves. We'll be out of here in an hour. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. His objective is to achieve his objective. He's not operating from vengeance. He's not operating from those kind of lesser motivations. He's only trying to achieve his objectives. He's playing chess and they're playing checkers.
Fall back. Sabine's like, screw it. I'm going to kill as many as I can.
This is cool. I mean, just having them all together, gathering in a scene like that. I mean, that's just cool.
I like the part where she goes, "You're alive." He goes, she was dead.
She's so nervous.
Yeah.
She's going to cry. I thought she was going to cry.
Did not prepare me for this. A full Jedi, pretty much a Jedi Master, a Jedi Knight, and a Jedi trainee.
She's going to cry. Look.
Any one of them she was prepared to face off against, but not all 3 of them.
Right. And I think she was not expecting Thrawn's betrayal, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. For her to be basically have everyone else run off. She doesn't have any backup there. Baylan's not showing up.
We had no smoke monster magic dust on any of those guys.
So, true. That is true.
I thought you were dead.
And that's smiling Ahsoka. Like smiling Ahsoka is not something we got in chapters 1 through 4.
And Ezra is like, you thought she was dead?
Well, Ezra and Ahsoka are connected on the Force, whereas Sabine, we've had some fake Force moments, but nothing yet.
Well, she heard Ahsoka calling her.
She did. She did.
But this reunion here of the 3 of them and smiling, is very different than what we got in the first 4 episodes.
Oh, they're totally screwed.
Yeah, these are my friends. It's time for me to say goodbye. I'm going to keep commenting on smiling Ahsoka.
Yeah, I almost expected for them to all circle around and start dancing or something. I'm like, oh no.
A new version of Yum Nub.
It was that Star Warsy this episode. So
right.
I'm getting a feeling. I think I actually might make it home. Well, I mean, at this point, that big thing in the sky, whatever that thing's called, that portal or whatever, they're not getting to use that probably. So the Purgle are gone. We
Yeah.
don't actually know what they're, obviously
Well, Ezra has a really big connection to them.
He
Yeah.
does.
So he could call them back or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he had to go find them in Rebels in order to get them to come to Lothal. So I don't know if, and they already jumped to hyperspace. They didn't, just like go around the other side of the planet or something.
Yeah, they took off. I mean, so either Ahsoka needs to be able to call them back, or he needs to be able to call them back, or they need to make it into that ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They could just go onto the garbage dump there on that Star Destroyer and just chill right in. I don't know.
I mean, guys, we've got one episode left.
I know. Like, there is so much that they literally can't wrap up in this next episode.
Yeah. We don't know how, I guess, do we know how long the next episode is? I know there are sites that track that. I don't know if we know
I
how long the
don't
episode
offhand.
is. But yeah, I mean, we've got one episode left. Are we going to defeat Thrawn, or are we going to get that moment, where, that everyone's been expecting, where this whole thing has just been setting up, the arrival of Thrawn in the main galaxy sets up the next big thing, that all of this has been built up to Thrawn getting back to the other galaxy and setting up the next big thing,
Yeah, I think Thrawn is going to make it back to his home galaxy, personally.
I think he has to. I think that has to be the big thing. I don't see Thrawn getting defeated in the next episode.
No, there's been no setup, no indication, and frankly, he's too cool of a villain.
Yeah. And
to not leave us on a freaking cliffhanger.
I mean, teasing him in the last season of Mandalorian and really kind of setting that up. I mean, teasing it not even last season of Mandalorian. I mean, her first appearance, Ahsoka's first appearance in Mandalorian is her asking,
Oh, absolutely.
Where's Thrawn,
And the entire final season of Rebels was all about their things with Thrawn.
Yeah.
And, Rebels is frankly like my favorite Star Wars show. And there's just you learn so much about how Thrawn works, and to have him not actually be that big of a threat because, he
I still think it's what has to be.
I think he's going to come back.
I still think it's what has to be Filoni's movie. I mean,
yeah.
Whether it's called Heir to the Empire or not. I mean, it seems to me that, and we've still got another series. We've still got that other series that's supposed to be Jude Law and the kids, traveling. That is, I'm trying to think of the name of it right now, but it's been shot. I mean, this show's already been made, so we don't know when it's scheduled. I think at the moment because that schedule's been shifted around. But I mean, Skeleton Crew. Yeah, so we still got Skeleton Crew coming, which is another Filoni series in this kind of universe, in this kind of like 5 years post, Return of the Jedi, kind of setting up that ties into Filoni's movie as well. So we've still got a whole nother show coming that is still building up more of what leads into Filoni's movie, and I really think that has to be Thrawn. I mean, that's the big bad for all of that. I would think that, probably Thrawn factors into that series in some way because it's supposed to also include story threads that all tie into the big resolution being.
Yeah, it's still, it's says it's the same timeline. So
exactly. Yeah.
Same time period.
I mean, we spent too much building Thrawn up, including that whole season of Rebels, like you said, kind of establishing Thrawn. And really what it all establishes is the idea that had Thrawn been there with the Emperor through 4, 5, and 6, does 6 end very, very differently,
Right. Yeah, because he missed all of that.
Right.
So.
And the idea is that all of that went the way it went down because of Ezra's sacrifice at the end of Rebels, that gets Thrawn off the table and is what really allows the rebels to succeed against the Emperor, with Luke and with Yoda and Luke and Ben and all those factors there in terms of the Jedi regaining their, the balance against the Sith at that point, and really defeating him. But had the Emperor had Thrawn as a resource, in Episode 6, does Return of the Jedi go the way Return of the Jedi went? And really, the idea has been, no, it does not. It really only, it goes very, very differently had Thrawn been a factor.
Yeah.
Or if Darth Vader would have shot down that pod with C-3PO and R2 in it. Into the movie.
Yeah, I mean, we could get into the infinite kind of speculation at that point, but I'm just saying, just from an overall battle, do they still win? Possibly, but does it go very, very differently if Thrawn is a factor at that point? And so they've really built up, the idea that Thrawn coming back is a big deal. To me, that has to be the Filoni movie. That's not something that's going to get resolved in 40 to 60 minutes next Tuesday night,
No.
So the next 45 minutes, are they going to actually get back to that galaxy?
I think Thrawn will.
Yeah, I still think that big finale moment has to be Thrawn appearing and like, okay, what, now the threat that this represents to the galaxy.
Yeah, and I think the rebels might still be stuck on Paradia.
So you think they might not even get back?
I don't think they're going to make it back. I don't think they're going to make it off the planet next episode. Big old cliffhanger to torture all of us.
We take arms against the Filoni at that point.
Yeah.
Is there a season 2? Do we know?
Ahsoka? No one's. It's never been discussed. Yeah, there's never been any kind of public stuff about that. If there is,
And with, the writer's strike, now maybe actually ending.
Well, yeah, the writer's strike is done. Yeah, the writer's strike ended.
Did they actually vote on it now? But
well, the leadership voted on it, which ended the strike. The membership still has to ratify the contract. But I think everyone's considering that's, because they have until October 9th for that. So I don't think that's a thing.
Sure.
So the writer's strike, the writers went back to work
it's
today.
Effectively over. So we'll start getting back into.
Well, and they're expected. I mean, I always try to keep these episodes evergreen as much as possible. But yeah, from everyone else's perspective, yes, the writer's strike is now done. The actors are rumored to be going back as early as next week to discussions with the producers. With the Writers Guild and the Directors Guild contracts now in hand. So we'll have to see how that's going. So yeah, we're going to start hearing about things again. But I mean, there is no announcement in terms of a next season of The Mandalorian. There is no announcement. Really the only thing we know for sure is Filoni's movie.
Right.
Yeah. And we don't know what it's about.
No.
What it's about, when it's about.
Right.
Why it's about.
Why is Gamora?
Right.
Well, he's
my
new uncle. Dave's my new uncle, so whatever.
Yes, trust in Uncle Dave.
Yes. Yes.
Once he was a learner, but now he is the master.
He was a Padawan. Now he's the master.
Yes, he did study at George's feet. So I don't know. All I know is this episode kicked butt. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But it left us with this big thing of like, what gets resolved? I mean, it does what a penultimate episode should do. It leaves us with, what's happening next week. Well,
bringing us back.
Yep. We will be back next week. We will discuss the next episode. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Kim. We should have Jefferson back with Tales of the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Oh yeah.
And actually, Jackie will be back. They're back from their European vacation. I tried to see if I could get Jackie back, but I guess they're still kind of decompressing from 10 days in Europe. So yeah. So thank you. For the rest of you, there is someone watching. I don't know who's watching. Someone is watching on
it's probably
Facebook.
Kevin.
So yeah, probably Kevin. But thanks for joining us live. This will be out on YouTube shortly. And thank you for everyone else. You can join us on Binging the Force. If you want to listen to it as an audio, any of your podcast clients, just look for Binging the Force. If you would love to wear t-shirts and merchandise of Binging the Force, then you can look for that on bingingtheforce.myspreadshot.com. But most importantly, like and subscribe us on YouTube at Binging the Force. And we will see you all next week on Binging the Force for what I can only assume is an epic finale of Ahsoka. Part 8.
Yay.